Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video for Raid Shadow Legends. So as you can see, the normal clan boss is nearly down. He's at 3%. I've already done one key on him. I've got a spare key, so I think I'm just going to try and finish him off. I still have some leveling to do. I might do some PvP on this, so we'll see what we get to do. I mean, I do want to use my energy sparingly. Equally speaking, though, I have a ton of champions that I do want to prepare and level up, so I'm going to gradually do that. I have to decide on my second level 60 champion. I think I'm going to go with Valkyrie. I do like her usefulness. And I do have to look at the artifact sets. Now, something has crossed my mind. Valkyrie, of course, does not do that much damage, and that makes sense. She's a bit of a support role rather than anything. I do like that shield and counter attack. That makes a big difference. And as you can see, she does actually get in quite a few hits, especially when it comes down to the counter attack. So I'm thinking, I mean, she's got an AoE attack, then that applies the counter attack and the shield buff. So every time she gets hit with an AoE or any hit, she will counter attack. So I'm thinking, so this is what I was on about. So I'm actually thinking of potentially looking at a poison set that still gives her good defense. So I think that might be a thing. So she does get off quite a few hits. They don't hit that much, they don't hurt that hard, but I'm thinking if I can get her to stack poisons, then that would add to her functionality. I don't expect her to hit hard. She's not that kind of champion, so I'm not going to use her for that purpose as of yet. But I'm thinking if I can get those buffs and add a debuff to it, then that would just give her a bit more versatility, especially in dungeons and clan bosses and stuff like that. So that might work out. I mean, this may necessarily not be a thing that will carry on later on, but I still need to up the gear on pretty much all of my champions. The aim from this point forth is also to get as much 5 and 6 star gear. Now I have to actually get up to the 5-star gear, so I'm doing okay. 1.56 million. I reckon I can up that without actually necessarily leveling up Valkyrie. If she had poison that she did, then that would have been nice. But that's, yeah, it's just one of those things. So I'll look into that. I'm gonna have to reconsider my set, and then I also need a campaign farmer. Now if I use Kale as a campaign farmer, the problem with that is that kind of makes Elaine redundant, which, I mean, she's still a good champion. That's the thing. She's a very good champion. Now, Kale's poisons are not necessarily the best thing in the brutal campaign. So a thought that crossed my mind was to get a counterattack set on Elaine that also gives us a good high attack, a good 100% crit rating, and a massive crit damage. So that would make sense. Then she could become the campaign farmer. She does have 2 AoE attacks, and then if she has 100% crit, which is what she does have at this point in time, her first attack will most often be a double hit. So I think that's what I'm going to go with regards to the campaign farmer. So that makes plenty of sense. Once I get her up to 60, she should be alright. So I think my decision is going to have to be between Elaine and Valkyrie, which you want to get first to 60. I feel that Elaine would be a good choice for now, with the intention of farming the campaign for both XP, of course, and money. So and maybe getting that 3-star on the campaign. So at the moment, I'm gonna have to level up Tyrell and the other champion that I was using. What's her name? I forgot. Coldheart. Geesh. So Tyrell's another one that I need to get back up there and eventually to a 6-star. Not as quick as others, but yeah, that would be very helpful. And then Flash Terror is another one that needs to go up to 60 because he's a very good AoE heal champion. So I've got my work cut out. And obviously, I'm going to have to also manage my my energy and money. There's this one right here that I need to do so I can do the labyrinth, the Minotaur dungeon. And I do need, hold on a second, what am I taking in? Which one am I going for? I would want to do stage 11, although at this point in time, realistically, I don't know if I can actually, stage 15. See, I've only got one level 60 champion, so, oh, I forgot to change out my team. Oopsies. I wanted to take Coldheart and Valkyrie in because we need some scrolls on them. Darn it. Oh boy. Well, we're gonna have to go with this. I know I can defeat this. It's just, that's just a waste of energy now. That's fine. That's fine. So I guess I'll just have to fly with this and let's see how I actually do. Maybe a case where I have to swap out Apothecary maybe for a healer, so we'll see based off of this. Oh boy, that was a big yawn. Feeling a bit tired, so I think after I finish with this video, I'm probably going to go to bed and return to this later on. Make another video. On that note, I did want to say that, to be fairly honest, there seems to be a bit of, not as good as it could have been, but there are several people that seem to be enjoying this playthrough series. If you guys like it, you can let me know down below. You can leave a comment or just hit that like button. That also tells me quite a bit. But there seems to be a lot of people watching them, more than I would expect anyways, which is quite interesting. It's one of those things that's picking up, and do you know what? This is actually one of those games that has quenched my thirst for World of Warcraft. If you've been following the channel for a while, you would know that I posted a thing in the community, a comment in the community, asking people if they would want me to make videos for World of Warcraft. More specifically, World of Warcraft Classic. Now, the problem with that is, as enjoyable as that game is, and I do love the grind, do not get me wrong, I really love it, it's going to get to a point where I'm going to run out of things to do. And so, you know, and I think everybody else is going to end up in that situation. And so the question was, I kept asking myself, what then? You know, I don't want it for the a modern World of Warcraft. I mean, I've been out of that game for so long now that I've actually lost touch with the lore and everything, and there's just there's too much to go back on. So I don't really feel like picking that up for that reason. And World of Warcraft Classic all the way up to I'd say Cataclysm, which was the last expansion I played, was really good. Really enjoyed it. I think with Cataclysm they brought that dungeon pug system that, I don't know, kind of took away from the grind that I really liked. I did like that bit of the grind, and yeah, that's what kind of put me off the game. But this has satisfied my thirst for such a game. I mean, I've grown up playing Heroes Might and Magic. I think I played everything up to 5, maybe 6. Heroes Might and Magic 3 was by far my favorite of all of them. I think everything after that was a bit lacking. It wasn't as, I don't know, as detailed, as beautiful in terms of strategies that you could make up as Heroes Might and Magic 3. That I'd probably still play that now if I could get that game. So, you know, I've come from a long line of strategy-based games, turn-based games, and so this is definitely something that I like. And it also has the element of collecting, which is another thing that I like about it. And I do like the leveling up stroke gearing system. I think the only thing that I have an issue with is the pay to win aspect. It's not I mean, it's not as bad as other games, but it's still bad in that if you spend a certain amount of money, they put you in a higher category, which means it almost means I could get what I would class as bad deals because you pay more for less sort of thing, which I don't really agree with. And so, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do, and I have spent a bit of money, and I do intend to support the devs in the game with a bit of money, but it's also one of those things that I suppose promotes a bit of gambling through the shard system and how you get your champions, and so I suppose that can be addictive. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at it as a investment into the channel, in that I mean, when I first started it playing Raid Shadow Legends, if I'm honest, it looked very, very slow, but it's starting to slowly pick up, and so that tells me that people are getting into it, and I don't, you know, it is a good game. It is very enjoyable, if I'm honest, and this is where I need to be careful. I am somewhat addicted to it. I really, really, really like it. And the reason I need to be careful is I don't really want to end up spending too much, and I don't want to end up finding myself in the whale category, which, I don't know. Basically, when you get put in the whale category, as far as I understand it, you supposedly... Basically, the way it works out, you get things that are expensive, which look like good deals, but they're actually not compared to the free-to-play players and stuff like that. I think there's, as far as I understand it, 3 tiers. So there's a free-to-play category that will basically get cheap deals, and what I would class really good deal. To me, a cheap deal is a good deal. So that let's start from there. Then you get put into the paying category, which is like your tier 1. I'm not sure what that's called. It's got a name. And then after you spend so much within a certain time, you get put into the whale category. I don't think I'm close to it, but I need to be careful. I don't want to spend too much on this game. And the way I'm going to play out is, I think I'm going to make an initial investment in the game and then just play it out afterwards without much investment. I think once I reach a certain threshold, I'll probably invest a certain amount of money out of my YouTube money into the game, which I'm probably going to get gems to convert into energy so that I can continue making these videos. Now, one thing that has crossed my mind, and I've been thinking about it for quite a while, is the potential of streaming. I would love to do that. The problem with that is I would not be doing it consistent, and if people subscribe and pay money, because of the lack of consistency, I feel like I'm cheating the people that are paying or would potentially be paying. So for that reason, until this YouTube thing that I'm doing picks up a bit more and is a bit more consistent with regards to the revenue that it makes, I'm not going to go into streaming. That would require me to quit my job, which is actually what is currently the bill payer for me. To be able to consistently stream, I would have to change my schedule around. I still want to do a video a day, more or less, you know, give or take a day or two in a week, depending on how my week rolls out, but then also stream 5 days a week, so that way it would become consistent for the people that like that sort of stuff and come regularly to watch me play. So obviously, because I cannot and would not be able to stream consistent, I've not gone into it. Even, I mean, I've thought of doing it as a here and there sort of thing, but I think my fear is people will end up giving money, and it's almost like I'm cheating them out of money because I cannot maintain a consistent schedule simply because of my work schedule. So I've managed to fit YouTube around it in such a way that people won't notice and won't realize when I'm actually at work. I could be gone for 2-3 days and be at work, but there's always a video on the channel. So I've managed to fit that around, but I would not be able to fit the stream schedule. But in the future, that is something that I would love to do. I mean, I spend a lot of time on Twitch. I watch a lot of streamers. I interact a lot with streamers. And you know what? If I'm honest with you, since I got into Shadow Legends, Raid Shadow Legends, I've watched a lot of Raid Shadow Legends streamers, and I've actually interacted with them on Twitch, and they are pretty amazing. They're always helpful as well. I mean, this is a very complex game, and they're always giving out so much information and tips to people trying to access the end game content. That's really nice. I mean, one thing I like about this game, especially as far as Twitch goes, there's a really nice community around it. So I think this is another thing that makes this game so attractive to me. World of Warcraft has that, but it's also very competitive, if that makes sense. And sometimes it goes into an extreme of competitiveness where it's almost like taunting each other, and not in a nice way. Whereas this, I mean, there is still competition here, and there is a bit of a, I suppose, PvP, if you want to call it that. Although the PvP system is more of a PvE system because you're fighting the AI. But there is a bit of competitiveness, but there's also a very nice community around this game. Very friendly, very helpful, and generally pleasant to engage with. So, you know, I do like that is a thing in this game. I think the only downside is that whole whale system that I don't like. Apart from that, generally a good game, and I've not gotten into the faction wars yet. I mean, I'm not even close to it. I still have a lot of champions to get, a lot of teams to set up, and a lot of gear to farm. And currently, you know, Kale's got meh gear, and that's about it. I wouldn't call it very good. I did manage to send that to burst Elaine's crit rate, so I'll need to have a look at that. But if I'm gonna set her up as a campaign farmer, my thought is I could go for the lifesteal set. That would be good. That would give us sustainability. Or the counterattack set. I think there's a set that offers a percentage to counterattack. I need to have a look at the chances of the counterattack happening and decide if it's worth going for that or the lifesteal set. It's probably going to be a lifesteal set, with that being said and done. Although, yeah, it's going to have to be that. Both of them would have been good if the counterattack set was guaranteed, or a high chance at least. So I'll have to have a look at what percentages for those counterattacks there is. Yeah, that's quite an interesting. I'll do that off camera and then kind of decide what I'm gonna go with for Elaine. But because of her abilities and the fact that she can do multiple hits in one turn, or hit multiple targets in one turn, I think I'm gonna have to go with her. I don't actually have. I've had a look, and as far as I can remember, I don't have anything with a AoE A1 at this point in time. Normally that's what people tend to use for a campaign farmer, but I don't have that, so it's gonna have to be Elaine. So I'm gonna spend some points here in the Minotaur Labyrinth. I'm gonna try and get as many scrolls and get their masteries up a tad bit. I still have a bit to go until I can get the final scrolls, or red ones, whatever they're called. Still have a tad bit more to go. But I'm thinking, the more I can scroll these guys up, the more beneficial it'll be to me. These are all champions that have their uses, and so it's definitely a good investment of energy. Whoop, nearly had a hiccup there. So definitely going to be doing that. Also, I think I might want to do a bit of leveling up in the campaign, so I have to decide how much energy I'm going to waste or spend on the Minotaur. It does seem to eat up a lot of energy. And I think the other thing I wanted to say is, now I know there's several ways of getting energy, but I just find that energy in this game does not take you very far unless you buy it. What I would like to see, and I'm not surprised if I wouldn't see it, to be fairly honest, but what I would like to see is a way of, I suppose, getting more energy. Now, that's not to say in terms of increasing the energy pool, but maybe, I don't know, completing a set of missions, quests, dungeons, whatever, to get an ability that makes energy regenerate faster, if that makes sense. So you have to earn it through endgame content in such a way that, and when you earn it, or the speed at which your energy regenerates is a bit faster. I don't think it'd be game breaking, but I think, equally speaking, it would give it more playability. I mean, this would have to be fine-tuned so that you can still run out of energy, and obviously a big key selling thing for the game, I'm guessing, is energy, so it would have to be well thought out. But it's just a thought that came to my mind. I think, at the end of the day, this game does need to make money for it to continue to evolve, to pay the people that have invested their time in developing, designing, and creating this game. And, it's a business, and the business is only a business, or can run as a business, as long as it's making a profit. So, there's all that to bear in mind as well. Okay, I still have plenty of energy. See, that's what I mean. Every replay takes 12 energy away. Now, I know that the maximum energy in this game is 130. Divide that by 12, and you don't get very many runs. Now, of course, if you do dailies and you do you're logged in for however long, that will more or less triple. But still, you're gonna burn through it really quick. So yeah, I was just doing the math now in the back of my head. 130 energy divided by 12 energy per run generally gives us just 10 runs at this. Which, yeah. I mean, yeah, I suppose. Or another way they could do it is, I suppose, rely on an RNG sort of system where you have, I don't know, so many runs of something, whether it's a dungeon or whatnot, and you get the possibility of getting a energy refill. That could be nice. But then I suppose people end up stacking up the energy refills, and yeah, I don't know, it'd be nice. It's just, I'm not expecting that to be a thing. And funny enough, as I was watching other Twitch streamers play this game, and I mean, it's funny from my perspective because I'm not at that point yet, but I'll probably end up being. As they were doing the faction wars, how ridiculously difficult they are. They are nuts. Like, yeah, there were, a lot of them were to some level raging about the difficulty, and it was all and I agree with them. They were saying it's not necessarily skill based. It's all, at one point, it just comes to a point to where it's based on weak hits. That's what loses the fight. And I could see that happening. You know, the numbers made sense, and they were losing they're just repeating the same fight over and over and over again, just because of those weak hits. Now, of course, for those that don't know, in Faction Wars, the way it works is you build I think, a 5-man team from specific factions. So, for example, the Barbarians in Faction Wars, you'll build your team only out of the Barbarian race, and you have to go against different teams and waves. And I'm not sure exactly how many stages there are, but you basically progress through stages. You have a total of 12 keys to use up, and you only use up the key once you've completed the stage and defeated it, basically. But as you get towards the, let's call it, end game content, the game becomes very difficult, and that's mostly because you'll end up going up against stronger affinities, and when you're fighting a stronger affinity than your affinity, you run the risk of weak hitting, which means reduced damage, which means debuffs not being applied and all that. So yeah, it does make a massive difference. And then, like, some of the teams, I think the streamer that I was watching last night was trying to do, I'm trying to remember what faction he was doing. I can't remember what faction, but he was basically going up against more or less an Ogren sort of team. One that had 2 champions, like I think on wave 2 had 2 champions that applied a HP burn, and the one that applied a bomb. You know, there's an element of taunting the champions if you can. When it does not work because it's a stronger affinity, that's it. It's just game over, isn't it? And it's not very skill based, and I agree, because that's what you were saying, it's not very skill based. It's all around those weak hits. Now I did, and apparently there's a rumor going around that might not necessarily be a rumor, might be a real deal thing. They are going to nerf it. In what way is going to be a curiosity for me. I can't wait to see in what way. Okay, unlock tier 2 masteries for 2 champions. I'm about to do that. That'll give us another 100 energy. Let's level this guy up, and market. What have we got here? I'll take the mystery shard. So there's nothing that interests me right off the bat here. I'll take that. More energy. I'm gonna basically play a tad bit longer, maybe do some more Minotaur runs, and let's see what I can do here. So I don't have enough to actually do anything here at this point in time. I should be able to unlock 2 masteries on Valkyrie. It's going to be a bit of a tough decision as to what I'm going to go for. With Elaine, we're going to go for crit damage. Okay, now I can do this. The problem is, as it currently stands, yeah, we'll go for that. That means I go first, and therefore I hit harder. With Kale, I've gone for the opposite, which means once he's below a certain amount of health, he hits harder. We'll see which one does better, but at the moment, Kale does take a lot of hits, so I just thought it'd be more appropriate for Kale, especially in terms of the arena. He does seem to, well, he can take quite a bit of a beating, but still, I don't seem to have Kale at full health, so that specific perk is not necessarily skill, if you will, or mastery isn't necessarily useful to me. Let's see what I can do for Valkyrie. Okay, defense. I could go for defense, but then the thing is, she applies that shield buff, and I really want to extend that shield by as much as I can. Increases the amount of healing and value of shield buffs. So maybe for Valkyrie I'm gonna go with offense and support eventually. But you see, this gives us shield, and I think there's another one that gives us shield. And as it currently stands, the shield is pretty decent. So maybe increase the... I don't know. I'll have to have a look through the skill trees proper. I suppose I get 1 free respec per champion, so that's always good. But I think... I don't know. Tough decisions. I'm probably going to make a mistake here, but I do want to get that mission done. And then I'll have to reconsider the skill trees. If I can get that shield to last more and take more damage, that would make such a big difference. And I think the other thing I need to look at is actually increasing the duration of the buffs. Again, another really good skill to have. So it might end up being defense and support. I should have probably gone in defense. But I'll have to look to see that increases the value of shield. That's what I want. So that's the next thing I'm going to go for with regards to Valkyrie. I might end up changing out specs at some point. I suppose I've already gone with the offense. I'll see what that does. She doesn't dish out that much damage, so yeah. Maybe, yeah, defense and support would have been a good idea. Heals this champion for... She doesn't heal. We don't need that. I don't think this would be a very useful thing to have on Valkyrie. I mean, I'll have to play around with her, but I'll go with that for now, because I'm going to end up respecing anyways. Yeah, okay. Oh, hey. Oh, this is Flesh Terror. Ha! Don't know why I was thinking about Valkyrie. Yeah. So, Flesh Terror, okay. He's a healer, so definitely we want to do as much healing. Valkyrie. Crit rate. We could do that. So, yeah, I can do a free reset. If I make a mistake, that's fine. We'll try her on offense and support, and off camera I'm really going to think about defense, see what we get from defense. I think defense might be a good investment, if I'm honest. I think it'd benefit Valkyrie a bit more than offense, if I'm honest. So, I mean, I've already gone with it. Let's see what accuracy when this champion has no skills on cooldown. Definite support for the shield and tough skin. Okay, resistance. Okay. AoE attacks by, so that's quite good. Increases the amount of healing and value of shield. This is good. Decreases the damage received by. Okay. Yeah. Should have probably gone with defense on you. Sort of regretting that now. But I'm going to stick to what I said. I'm going to go support and offense. We'll see how that fares. I do realize defense is a bit better. I've not looked at the last 3 rows in defense to see what I would get from that, to be fairly honest. I used a bit of a tunnel vision here, which isn't the best thing to do in the game. You do want to aim for certain goals and purposes, and I've not done that. So see, again, the value of shield right there. So that's important. There we go. Value of shield buffs. Champion. Okay. So that's heals this champion by 10% of the map. Okay. Not something I actually care for, but what am I gonna do? So who else has plenty of scrolls here? I'm gonna end up losing Magus, I believe. Do you? Okay, so there's my reset. We'll do that. We'll unlock that. And so I need to go for something here. So I think I'll go for offense support here. We'll do this right here. And we'll do that. I think that's the best way of doing it. I mean, I'm going to use up Megas anyways. She's going to be a fusion character. I don't even want to level her up anymore. I've kind of outgrown that. And I suppose the fact that I'm going to use her for the Razin fusion, I suppose allows me the benefit of making mistakes on her, which I just realized I did again. But that's what happens when you rush stuff and don't think it through. I need to remember to take the gear off before I actually use it for the fusion. I think I'm one champion away from getting Razin as it currently stands. I just need not to forget to take the set off. Most of it isn't that great, but there may be pieces in that set of artifacts that I can use in other areas. So my thought is I'm going to do the Golem. That is an event that is going on, and so I want to try and take advantage of this. Maybe hopefully get something nice. I say hopefully. Normally my luck doesn't really roll that way. I'm going to try running this composition as it stands, and we'll see how far we get. Maybe I need to go up or down a stage. I think we should be alright. Okay, so first wave was not that bad. Second wave, okay. Now let's see what happens. Let's see how hard we actually struggle at this point in the game, at this stage. Okay. I mean, we're doing a bit of damage to him if we're not frozen. So, again, I'm not really looked into the Golem's mechanics. I'm not actually focused on him all that much. I think I've done mostly the dragon. That's just because that's the dungeon that has the first set that I want. And then I think it'd be the Golem, but at the moment my main focus is the dragon because of the lifesteal set and the poison set that I want. So yeah, we'll do a couple more runs at this and we'll probably see where we go from there. I was gonna say probably end the video there, but we'll see what happens. I will try and see. This might end up being a bit of a longer video than normal. The other thing is, you know how I was saying about streaming at the, I suppose more at the beginning of the set of this video, and I suppose call this your stream substitute, for lack of better words. It'd be nice if I could actually engage with people as I do this, but unfortunately I'm gonna just pretend that I'm talking to an imaginary person and just gonna go that way. Because yeah, you get the idea. It sounds weird, but yeah. There we go. Oh, this doesn't look good. Oh, that freeze is annoying. The good thing about the Golem is he does not heal. The bad thing is I nearly lost there. So I don't really know much about these weird sets that the Golem drops, apart from the ones that we get in the campaign missions. So we've done that. We can now get that. That's perfect. So yeah, eventually I'm gonna work towards getting Razin and what's her name? Oh dear. I forgot her name. And by the way, I am very horrible with names. I don't understand why. I'm better with numbers, because that's what I'm better with. Ooh. Starts with an A, doesn't it? So basically what I was on about is one of the champions, Arbiter, that's the one. Geesh. Remembered. So Arbiter and Rosin will be two legendaries that I'll get. Maybe not necessarily through a shard pull, but there are things you can do to get it. So Rosin I'll get through the fusion, which I'm very close to. And Arbiter by doing all of those missions. So two really good champions. Can't wait to get my hands on them. I do wonder though what champions and what teams I'll have by that point. As it stands, I'm just playing around, but I will need to look at building my teams up. And I suppose by farming the Golem and the Dragon and the Minotaur, I am sort of slowly making my way into that direction. I just haven't actually, at least as far as planning it out, I haven't actually got teams made up in the back of my head. But I do know that Coldheart, Kale, and Valkyrie will have most likely roles to fulfill across the board. Then it'll be a case of kind of swapping out champions depending on how things go and what I get the best results with. Seem to be getting quite close to not making it, but currently as it stands, it is a consistent win, so I'll just go with it. And I could probably do this on manual or not auto it, but I'm just lazy like that, and I just want the game just kind of like just get me through it, get me my stuff, let's do this again, and you know, kind of like rinse and repeat. I don't really want to think it through. And this is one of the things I actually like about this game. I'm sure a lot of mobile turn-based RPG style games would have a similar function. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that it has it. It's far from perfect. I've seen the game make some combinations and decisions that I wouldn't have made. But hey, it works as far as I'm concerned. So we have to get 3 more items or 2 more items from the Golem to do another part of that mission. So again, slowly edging my way towards getting that Arbiter. That'd be nice. I cannot wait to get her, actually. It's one of the champions that I hope to get. So I think in terms of legendaries, Arbiter is one that I want to get, and I'm looking forward to that. I would really like Bad Alcazar. Now, do you know what? I'd like to see what a combination of Bad Alcazar with Valkyrie would do. I think they complement each other amazingly in terms of, you know, what they could do. So I hope to get my hands on the Bad Alcazar and see him work alongside Valkyrie, and if they work, I don't see why they wouldn't. You know, they're both amazing champions, and as far as Valkyrie goes, from what I've seen, she definitely carries the team, and from what I've seen other players of this game play with regards to Bad Alcazar, I can also say that he definitely carries the team. So that'll be interesting. I've not seen that combination, so I'd like to see what I could do with it. Mind you, I am gonna eventually test run my concept with poison on Valkyrie, just because of the counter attack. I think that's going to be quite nice. So once she's placed the counter attack, plus the counter attack, the placing of the counter attack is in itself an AoE. So I think, if I remember correctly, the poison set has somewhere around 50% chances. So her first attack is, so her A1, her first attack is a 2 attack thing. So that's, you know, each attack would have a 50% chance of applying what I believe is possibly most likely a 2.5% poison. Not bad. Now the second attack is, which is this one, is I believe it's this one, an AoE attack, which means it attacks all targets, whether it's 4 or 5, with a 50% chance of applying poison on each target. Again, and I think it's for 2 rounds as well. And I can't remember what our final ability is. But again, you know, you see where I'm going with that? That piled up with Chaos Poisons, I think would be nice, and then piled up with Bad El Khazar, and I think he applies poisons possibly, and the heal. That would be nice. That'd be a wicked team. And then obviously you want your defense down and attack down debuffers. Possibly a tank. And yeah, so that would probably be a very good combination. But that's the thing. I think this game, in terms of diversity, and this is what I like about it, has a lot to offer in terms of how you play things. And obviously there's so many champions with so many abilities and stuff. I think it's fun to play around with, and I'm definitely, as usual, as I do with Ark, as I do with Conan Exiles, I'm going to be looking of doing things outside the box. Will eventually mean very expensive for me, because when you swap out gear, it costs money. To upgrade gear, that costs a ridiculous amount of money. To get it to its max level, that's, yeah, easily over 1 million silver. Let's get this. Don't know what I got. Oh, 10 brews. That's nice. That's going to come in handy. 25 lesser spirit potions from... Okay. 25. Okay. So that's another thing I can work towards. And yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. I do realize this has been a bit of a long video, and this is one of those things which I'm going to end up having to trial out and see how people like it. I did notice that, you know, there are quite a few people that seem to be watching them. Now, if you want these videos to be longer or shorter, do bear in mind this is a very grindy game. Let me know down below. I mean, I'm definitely going to be trialing out both of them and seeing what people think. If you like the shorter videos, you can let me know down below in a comment. I will take that into consideration. And equally, if you like the longer videos for this particular game, again, let me know down below. It does make a difference to me what people think, and what people think will affect how I'm going to make these videos. At this point and stage, I am more or less trialing out things. With that being said and done, that is it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it, and if you have, please don't forget to support me on the channel by hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself, and if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel. Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. Until next time, stay safe, folks.